And police are still trying to work out how a constable came to shoot a 22-year-old local man. Police say the constable was alone when he arrived at the school, but they don't know what provoked the gunfire.
Oh, well, we're still piecing the facts of the incident together at the moment, so we're not really prepared to say a lot more in relation to what led up to it and what happened afterwards.
There's also no indication from police whether the shot man was armed. Police say the constable concerned used a standard Smith & Wesson .38 revolver. They're not saying how many shots were fired, but local residents say they were woken early this morning by the sound of an engine revving and 3 gunshots.
Then I heard a big shot, like a shotgun blast, and about 3 seconds after that there was another big blast, and about 3 seconds after that another big blast.
Police haven't released the name of the constable who's been suspended from duty. The wounded man, Caner Ron Murray, is recovering in intensive care at Auckland Hospital. He had 3 bullet wounds, 2 in his upper thigh and 1 in his hip. He's in a stable condition tonight. Jodie Ihaka, One Network News.
A homicide inquiry is underway in Christchurch after the partly clad body of a woman was found in a school playground. The body was discovered by a 14-year-old girl during her paper round. Brent Fraser reports.
Police haven't yet identified the victim, but confirmed she was probably sexually assaulted and her face was covered in blood. The body was discovered just before 7:30 this morning by a paper girl.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was a mannequin, and I just went over to it and I just discovered it was a body.
The teenager wasn't the only person who saw the body. Residents at a nearby hostel are upset the body was left uncovered while police investigated.
Just after 8:30, and the body was left uncovered until 11:15. No screens, no body bag, nothing.
Well, it was particularly important to confirm what had actually happened there, and it was more of a logistical problem to cover the body.
Since the discovery of the young woman, police began an intensive search of the area for clues.
Got to speak about this that happened last night.
Certainly.
A breakthrough came late this afternoon. Police discovered the victim had been at the Palladium nightclub. It's understood she left the nightclub with 2 other friends around 12:30 this morning. Police say at some stage the victim became separated from them. That was the last time she was seen alive. Tonight, police say they have a positive line of inquiry. Brent Fraser, One Network News.
The military build-up around Haiti hasn't stopped, but President Clinton is making one last diplomatic effort to avoid an invasion. He's sending a delegation to talk directly to Haiti's military rulers. It's being led by former President Jimmy Carter, who recently helped resolve the nuclear standoff in North Korea.
National Security Advisor Tony Lake announced the 11th hour mission at the White House late this afternoon.
The purpose of the trip is to conduct discussions with the de facto Haitian leadership within the framework of the goals already established by President Clinton and the UN Security Council.
Lake insisted that this did not mean the administration was now prepared to negotiate with the Haitian general, something it has said it would never do. But he could not say that they had actually signaled a willingness to leave, which is the one thing the administration said it would discuss with them. He did say that they had today accepted the offer of a Carter mission, and that he expected Mr. Carter and the others to leave within 24 hours. At the White House earlier, a mass photo opportunity as the president posed with representatives of the 24 other countries which have agreed to contribute at least something to his Haiti intervention. Mr. Clinton is now going all out to show that he is not in this alone, and also to present the controversial exiled Haitian President Aristide in the best possible light. Many have doubted his commitment to the democratic processes which elected him, but again today he pledged to leave office at the end of his term next year as scheduled, having presided over the election of a successor. Aristide's other theme today was reconciliation. He pledged to take no retribution against his enemies and urged all in Haiti to do the same.
No to vengeance, no to retaliation. Let us embrace peace. When? Now.
While the exiled president is talking peace in Washington, in Haiti, nerves are frayed, and locals are preparing for the worst.
In Port-au-Prince today, Haitians waited hours by the side of the road to catch buses out of town. Those wealthy enough to own cars jammed roads to the countryside. And at grocery stores, residents stocked up on food and fresh water.
Everyone's stocking up because they say we might not be able to leave our homes for a few days.
The American embassy issued an official order to all of its employees to stay home at night, and the U.S. ambassador met with a group of American citizens to discuss security for the more than 3,000 Americans still here. Some Americans fear reprisals.
I've had 4 telephone calls in the last 3 days of people that tell me to look out. That if the Americans land, they're going to come after us. They've never done that before.
As civilian gunmen, machine guns mounted on their trucks, paraded through city streets, hopes that Haiti's military leaders will leave the country were dashed by a public show of defiance by General Philippe Biambi. We're going to continue to resist, Biambi said, with the means we have at hand. His civilian supporters said they too were ready to fight.
If we all have to die in this country, we all have to die.
But any resistance is expected to be largely symbolic. The Haitian Air Force is all but grounded by lack of maintenance and spare parts. The Navy has 10 patrol boats to monitor more than 1,000 miles of coastline. Most of the 7,000-man force is poorly trained and poorly equipped with World War II vintage rifles. And many Haitians believe the soldiers will shed their uniforms and run at the first sign of an invasion.
John Major has injected new momentum into the Northern Ireland peace process with important concessions to both sides. To the Loyalists, he's promised a referendum before any constitutional change. For the Republicans, he's lifting the 6-year media gag on Sinn Féin.
Ever since the IRA ceasefire was called, Mr. Major has been cautious. But in Belfast today, he was clearly trying to ensure the peace process retains its momentum. And he issued a statement designed to appeal variously to all sides.
More than 2 weeks have now passed without IRA violence. That's very good news. The longer it lasts, the more hopes will rise that we may have an unparalleled opportunity for progress.
For the Unionists, the promise that any political agreement would be put to the people in a referendum.
For the avoidance of any doubt, I want to make clear today that the government will submit the final outcome of the 3-stranded progress of talks to the electorate in Northern Ireland for approval in a referendum.
He said he wasn't yet convinced the IRA campaign was finished for good, but nevertheless he recognised conditions had changed. It was time, he said, to lift the broadcasting ban on Sinn Féin.
All paramilitaries and all those who speak on their behalf now have an opportunity. The opportunity to tell us directly, not under the cover of an actor's voice, that they are truly committed to peaceful methods only, and to there being no resumption of violence in the future.
Mr. Major must now stand a chance of succeeding where many other prime ministers have failed, Lloyd George and Gladstone amongst them. But the process of reaching a lasting political agreement here is likely to be very slow, and he must hope that some kind of peace becomes established, that people begin to feel it, and then put pressure on their political leaders to make concessions.
Ahead on One Network News, spinning through space untethered, and the crash landing in Samoa caused by a stowaway.